Hello guys, welcome to the Buganda territory of Uganda. This is Ryan coming at you. My dogs are so happy to be running out here. They're just packed with energy because they stay inside the compound all day, and it's that guy over there, he said, "Hello big man." Yeah, it's just really hot in the afternoons. Dogs don't want to move in the sun, neither do I. So now it's cooled off and they're just gonna go crazy in the shrubs and bushes down here. Well, here we are guys. Here we are, another evening. It's about 7:15, dusk here in the village. Thanks for joining me on this walk with my dogs. So somebody asked me, I don't know if it was a viewer or a patron or a member. Sorry if there's wind. Yeah, they wanted to know about the mind shift. In essence, they were asking about the mind shift, going or coming from Asia to Africa. And I'm not going to talk about going from Japan to Africa because it's not even comparable. But I think what's a little more comparable is talking about going from maybe Southeast Asia to Africa. As you guys know, I lived in Thailand for a year. And then if you include all the times that I went on 3-month excursions, I've probably been there for over 2 years. So think of the hardest place that you could go in Southeast Asia. I know it's not Thailand. I'm not so familiar with Southeast Asia. Like, I've lived in Thailand, I've been to Laos, and I've been to Cambodia. Have never been to Vietnam or any other countries in Southeast Asia. So I don't know where the hardest place in Southeast Asia is. And I know it's not Thailand, but if I had to choose from those three that I just mentioned, I'd say Cambodia. What I mean by that is Cambodia is pretty corrupt. I mean, I experienced corruption while I was there. Can be dangerous. You know, you're susceptible to getting scammed. You got to be pretty travel savvy. Have a certain kind of street smarts to live there, I think. Well, when you come to Africa, Cambodia is a little sweet piece of heaven. I'll put it like this. The first time I went to Africa, I went to Ghana. This was, I think, 10 years ago. Had an interesting experience. I was sick most of the time. I stayed there for a month. Got food poisoning, had to be hospitalized, had my money stolen, all sorts of stuff. I think it's the food poisoning that really did me in though. But I just remember when I was flying back to Japan, I flew from Ghana to Ethiopia, then Ethiopia to Thailand. And when I arrived in Thailand, I got down on my knees and I kissed the ground. I was like, thank God I am not in Africa. That's how tough Africa was for me the first time. The second time I went to Africa, I went to Kenya, and I lived there for 3 months in Kisumu, Kenya. Didn't have many problems there, actually. I had a really positive, good experience, nice people. It was an idyllic life for me. And I went back again later on after I came to Uganda, and I also had a great time there. But Uganda, it's worse than Ghana. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, like, if you can make it here in Uganda, like, I really don't think there's many places that are tougher to live than Uganda, except for countries that are having civil wars and are war-torn. You know, maybe like some parts of the Congo, Central Africa, Syria, Iraq. You know, these kinds of places would probably be a little bit tougher than Uganda, but this is pretty much as hard as it gets. Living, it depends on what happens to you. Let's say you're in Cambodia. It depends on what happens to you and how many trials and tribulations you have to go to, how long you've been there, how many times you've been extorted. Like, there's a whole street smarts to learn about how to deal with corrupt police, corrupt government, people trying to scam you, take advantage of you. Like, there's a whole learning curve for that. So if you experience that in Cambodia, for example, or Vietnam, it will kind of prepare you for Africa. But the way they go about it here in Africa it's so much more sneakier. And it takes some time here to realize what's going on and who's lying, and you basically come to a point where you assume that everybody you meet has an ulterior motive and is, you know, out to scam you or get something from you. I mean, that's the way I approach it now, to be honest. I've been here for 3 years. I don't fucking trust anybody. So what I'm saying is, if you're from like the hardest place in Southeast Asia, that will put you at like level, I'll say that'll put you at level 5 for your preparation to come to Africa. Coming here to Uganda is like, you just gain a whole new set of coping skills and how to manage the chaos here. It really is chaos. Like, it's the most unorganized, badly managed country I've ever been to. So yeah, coming from the hardest place in Southeast Asia would mildly prepare you for what you're going to encounter here in Africa, but it's really not a replacement. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go to any war-torn countries, but if I have to ever go to a place that's more difficult to live than Uganda, I think I'll be okay. I'll be a lot better off than if you were to go there. Yeah, I'll be able to. I'll know how to protect myself. And knowing how to protect yourself is not about being a tough guy. It's about being a smart guy and a guy with experience in these kind of tense situations. Hey guys, it's about 20 minutes later. I'm heading back home. This is a very well lit, bright part of the village, and you can see how dark it is. So just imagine the darker parts of the village. It's pitch black, and you can't walk. You wouldn't be able to walk unless you knew the area extremely well, or you had a flashlight. And the word they use here for flashlight is torch. If you say flashlight, they don't know what you're talking about. You have to say torch. So, another thing I was thinking is, like, I know with Thailand at least, okay, you have like poor people who are just struggling to survive, and that's okay. Not throwing any shade on them. But you have also a class of people that are better off, and they can pursue things like education, art. I don't see that here in Uganda. Everybody is just, if you're talking about the hierarchy of needs, most people are just trying to get through the day. They're just trying to survive for the day. The money they make that day is going to buy the food that they eat. I don't see people here doing anything like art, music, cultural activities. It's just so basic here. Okay, so you might say, well, not everybody in Africa is poor like they portray them in the media. And you're right. There are wealthy people here, very wealthy people here. There are people here that are wealthier than a wealthy American. Sure, That's right. Probably not as many wealthy people, but they're there. And I don't really see like a middle class. I see really fucking poor people, and then there's wealthy people, but there's not really a middle class here. So then you might say, well, don't the rich people pursue things like music and art and cultural things? And the answer is no. I haven't seen it. What I've seen of rich people here, wealthy people, from what I've seen here, is the wealthy people do two things. They flex. They like to flex how rich they are, and they suppress the poor people even more. Suppress, oppress. And that's why you have this dichotomy of really wealthy people and very, very poor people.